You know that piece of furniture in your room? It's got a story to tell. A secret story, really. It's about its journey from a raw material all the way to a finished product, and what that journey means for our planet. So, let's unpack it.
So let's just imagine a new bookshelf, right? It didn't just magically appear in the store. It started its life somewhere else, it was made by someone, and it's going to end up somewhere when you're done with it. Have you ever really truly thought about what its life was like before it got to you? You see, every single product has a life cycle, a journey. And now, there's a standardized way for companies to track and report its environmental footprint. Think of it like a rulebook for sustainability.
And that rulebook? Well, it's called the SASB standards, which are now officially part of the IFRS Foundation. This is the framework that helps companies talk about their sustainability efforts in a way that's clear, consistent, and, this is key, financially relevant. So what exactly are they? Well, SASB provides 77 different standards, one for just about every industry you can think of. They laser focus on the sustainability topics that can actually affect a company's bottom line. And because of that, you better believe investors are paying very close attention.
Okay, let's start our bookshelf's journey at the very beginning. We're going to head into the woods to see exactly where the raw material comes from.
Our story starts in a forest. And right away, we hit a major sustainability issue. Where did the wood actually come from? Was it harvested legally? Did it contribute to biodiversity loss or maybe even harm local communities? These are the first huge questions a company has to answer. To answer that, companies use a specific metric to report the total amount of wood they buy, and crucially, what percentage of that comes from certified sources. A simple visual like this tells a really powerful story about their supply chain and their exposure to risks like deforestation.
And certified isn't just some vague buzzword. It means the wood comes from forests managed according to really strict standards set by third-party organizations, like the Forest Stewardship Council. They verify everything from legal compliance to protecting wildlife habitats.
Okay, so the wood's been harvested responsibly. Fantastic. Let's follow it to the next stage and see how this thing gets built, the manufacturing process.
So, inside the factory, all those logs and pieces of lumber are transformed into the parts of our bookshelf. And this process is hungry. It's hungry for two things in particular: energy to power all the machines, and chemicals for things like glues, finishes, and treatments.
When it comes to energy, companies have to report their total consumption in gigajoules. Now, a gigajoule is a huge unit of energy. Just one of them is enough to power an average home for nearly a week. So this data gives you a real sense of a company's reliance on fossil fuels versus renewables. It's not just about electricity, though. The chemicals used in furniture can pose some pretty significant risks. For example, you might have heard of volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. These are chemicals in things like paints and glues that can be released into the air in your home and, well, they can be harmful to your health.
Companies generally take two main approaches to chemical safety. A hazard-based approach is pretty straightforward. It's like a banned substances list. If a chemical is known to be toxic, it's just not used, period. A risk-based approach, on the other hand, is more nuanced. It assesses the actual likelihood of harm. For instance, a toxic chemical might be used if it's completely sealed within the product, posing no real risk to the consumer.
So the bookshelf is built. It's lived a good, long life in your home. But what happens next? This is where the idea of a product's life cycle really starts to get interesting. The most forward-thinking companies are considering a product's end of life from the very beginning, right from the design phase. They're aiming to create what are called green building materials and design systems that are closed loop, which is a fancy way of saying nothing goes to waste.
And this slide shows that closed-loop journey in action. The company takes the old product back, they disassemble it, and they recover all the useful materials. Then, those materials are used to create brand new products. It's a circle of life for our stuff, not a one-way ticket to the landfill. And again, this isn't just a nice idea, it's totally measurable. Companies following the standard have to report the exact weight in metric tons of all the end-of-life material they recover through programs like their take-back services.
What this whole process does is turn what would have been waste into a valuable resource. It creates a circular economy for materials, which dramatically reduces the need to go back to the forest and cut down more trees to make new products.
So, we followed the journey from the forest, through the factory, and into a second life.
But why does all this detailed accounting actually matter? Who benefits from all this?
Just about everyone, really. For investors, it reveals hidden risks, like a company being way too dependent on a threatened resource. For the companies themselves, it's a way to build a stronger, more resilient brand. And for us, the consumers, it gives us the power to make more informed choices with our money.
Ultimately, this level of disclosure goes way beyond just environmentalism. It's a core part of a modern business strategy. It's about managing risk, identifying opportunities, and, at the end of the day, building a more transparent and resilient company for the future. So, the next time you look at that bookshelf, I hope you'll see more than just wood and screws. You'll see its hidden journey. And now that you know what to look for, what story is your furniture telling you?